Do you know how terrifying a bear that has eaten humans can be? Not only does it become incredibly violent, but it can understand human speech, even imitate human gestures to beckon you, and when you approach, you become its prey. It was a snowy night. I was on the late shift, lazily holding the walkie-talkie and chatting with my colleague about trivial matters. Through the snow haze, I vaguely saw a blurry figure waving near a car not far away. Thinking it must be a resident having trouble, I prepared to step forward to help. But the moment I lifted my foot, a heart-wrenching scream came through the walkie-talkie from my colleague. I froze. Earlier, the broadcast had mentioned a bear had escaped from the nearby zoo, and our community wasn't far from there. If my colleague hadn't warned me, I might have foolishly walked right into death. Goosebumps erupted all over me. I hurriedly asked my colleague what to do. His father was an old hunter from the mountains. He had warned me never to turn your back on a wild animal. Following his advice, I slowly backed away. But as I tried to retreat calmly, the figure in front suddenly sped up its movements. Its arm swings became increasingly bizarre, movements no human could perform. My mind went blank. Was it pretending to be human? Suddenly, the figure froze mid-swing. In the next blink, it had vanished into thin air. I turned around, looking in all directions, drenched in cold sweat. A terrifying thought struck me. It had seen through my intentions and was toying with me. I didn't dare hesitate. I quickly opened the walkie-talkie to report to Gary. Before I could finish speaking, a piercing scream erupted through the device. "Run! Run now!" Gary's warning hit me like a hammer. My heart thumped violently as I turned and sprinted toward the security room. Running, I was surprised to find no signs of pursuit. I exhaled in relief. However, just as I was about to reach the door, a gust of cold wind brushed past my ear. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a massive shadow. The bear's paw was only inches from me. If I hadn't ducked and opened the door in time, my head would have been crushed. Fortunately, the bear's momentum from that blow gave me the chance to dart inside, slam the door, and lock it quickly. Outside, heavy breathing, followed by violent pounding, shook the entire security room. Only then did I realize that the bear had sneaked incredibly close, climbing in from the exterior wall. What was it really? A bear or something far more terrifying? The shaking and pounding lasted for a few minutes before finally ceasing. It seemed it realized that this steel door couldn't be easily broken. I silently thanked the cold winter which had made this secure enclosed room. As the commotion outside gradually settled, I cautiously reopened the walkie-talkie to contact Gary. I reported that I was safe and briefly described what had just happened. After a moment of silence, Gary's deep voice came through the walkie-talkie. "Peter, from now on, no matter who knocks, don't open the door. That bear, it's probably eaten humans and has wised up." My heart tightened. What do you mean, wised up? Before I could fully process, there was suddenly a loud knocking on the door. My palms sweated as I froze. Gary's voice came again through the walkie-talkie. "Do not open the door. No matter what, don't open it." Then everything fell silent. I hesitated, but cautiously approached the door and peeked through the peephole. The next moment, dread shot from my feet to my head. I almost screamed. Outside was an injured person, faintly recognizable as Sam, the convenience store owner. He was covered in blood, wounded, and weakly leaning against the door, his lips moving as if calling for help. I instinctively reached to unlock the door, but Gary's warning rang in my mind like a chilling alarm, freezing my hand. Sam swayed painfully. Instinctively, he bent slightly forward, and my heart sunk. Behind him, near the side wall, the familiar shadow of the bear's head peered out coldly, then quickly retreated, vanishing into the snow-white corner. In that instant, I understood what wised up meant. Sam and I got along pretty well. Sometimes he even brought me snacks. I leaned against the door, eyes glued to the peephole, thinking maybe I could open it once the bear moved away. Was it gone? I didn't dare let my guard down. Its strange behavior was still fresh in my mind.
I decided to wait a few more minutes, observing. It really seemed gone, perhaps hiding in some corner, preparing for its next strike. My heartbeat gradually slowed. I watched the door closely and finally decided to take a gamble. I took a deep breath and gently turned the lock. "Peter, hurry!" Sam's hopeful knocking grew frantic. But just as I was about to open the door, through the peephole, I saw Sam glance to the right. The pounding outside intensified. The door shook violently, producing a deafening roar, forces no human could exert. Sam's cries of pain were quickly muffled, choked into intermittent groans. I couldn't watch any longer, but in my mind, I clearly pictured the bear's massive claws tearing into him. Gary then spoke through the walkie-talkie. I saw the whole thing on the monitor. Sam knew the bear was right next to him, but he still tried to call for help. He was selfish. Don't blame yourself too much. I nodded, understanding Gary's point, but an inexplicable fear had spread through me. Suddenly, I recalled Gary's warning, "It's wised up." Yes, now I believed it. This was no ordinary bear. It could suppress its hunger, exploit human sympathy, even mimic human behavior to learn how to open doors and predict my thoughts to trick me. "Peter, that's why I told you not to open the door," Gary sighed over the walkie-talkie. I had to inform Mrs. Wilson and have her contact all residents. I nodded mechanically, my fingers stiff as I dialed her number. Gary could tell I still hadn't recovered from the terror. After a brief silence, he reminded me, "Don't worry about anyone else right now. Protect yourself first. If you try to help others, the bear may see you as a threat, and then it will definitely not let you go." If this were earlier, I might have thought Gary was exaggerating, but after what I just experienced, my entire mindset had changed. That bear really wasn't normal anymore. It had learned cunning, strategy, and maybe at this very moment, it was lurking right outside, watching my every move. But I couldn't just sit there and doing nothing. I wasn't some big hero, but I also couldn't watch familiar faces become its next meal. I finally dialed Mrs. Wilson, urging her to notify all residents immediately. I also called the police to report the situation. After doing all that, I felt a slight relief, but an even deeper chill crept into my chest. That thing outside still hadn't left. Just as I was taking a shaky breath, Gary's urgent voice came through the walkie-talkie again. "Check the group chat, now!" I grabbed my phone and opened the residents group. James, the owner of Unit 13 in Building 20, had posted a photo. The moment I saw it, a cold shiver ran down my spine. The entire community was covered in untouched white snow. Nothing was there. No trace of Sam's body, no sign of the bear. Nothing. Where did the bear go? Was I hallucinating? My heartbeat sped up again. Then James posted another mocking message. "Where's the bear? Disappeared? What's this fake bear sighting nonsense?" I opened the photo again, zooming desperately for clues, but no matter how closely I looked, not a single trace of a bear. Had everything been an illusion? If the bear wasn't outside, then what did I see earlier? Was Sam's body just a hallucination? Frustration built in my chest. This wasn't something to joke about. I saw everything with my own eyes. Why didn't anyone believe me? I replied in the group, "This is serious. Please stop joking. I witnessed Sam being attacked. The bear is real." Instantly, the mood shifted. Many residents who supported the property management started believing me. After all, the news about the escaped zoo bear had been circulating just a few days ago. They figured it was better to be cautious. But James wasn't having it. He immediately posted a news link. My stomach dropped when I read it. The report said the escaped bear from the zoo had already been captured an hour ago, and no one was harmed. James sneered. "You property management people need to stop making up nonsense. Do your job instead of trying stupid tricks." His comment instantly reignited the residents' complaints. Those unhappy with the management seized the chance to attack us, bringing up old grievances. Even those who supported us started doubting, asking me to take photos to prove the bear was actually real. And for a moment, even I began doubting myself. Had everything really been a hallucination? I decided to check outside. Maybe the bear's footprints were still there, or some sign in the snow. I grabbed a camera and walked to the door. I peered through the peephole, only to see a field of untouched white snow. Did I really get it wrong? But the slight alcohol I drank earlier shouldn't be enough to make me hallucinate like that. As I hesitated, Gary's panicked voice suddenly burst from the walkie-talkie. "Peter, don't open the door! Something's wrong with James!" I froze, mid-motion. The doorknob felt burning hot in my palm. I quickly checked the peephole again, and my entire body went cold. The bear was standing right outside. When did it return? And worse, it was copying Sam's movements, using its clumsy paw to try turning the doorknob. My scalp tingled. My voice trembled. "Gary, what is going on with James?" Gary's voice came back, uneasily. "That bear, it belongs to the owner of James." "Belongs to him?" My mind went blank. The explanation sounded insane, but when I recalled the bear's unnatural behavior, everything suddenly made sense. Its movements, its disturbingly human-like eyes, its attempts to mimic opening my door. No normal bear, especially one fed by tourists, could do something like that. Gary continued, "James is on the top floor. There's a huge attic up there, big enough to keep a bear, and the sound insulation is so good, no one below ever hears anything." A chill crept down my spine. Not only did James keep a bear, he had trained it to mimic human behavior. If the residents found out, who would dare live here? I couldn't make sense of it. Dogs, cats, even foxes, sure. But who would keep a dangerous, massive predator? And why? Gary said, "I don't know why either, but I'm at building 13 right now, right in front of James. I can smell that bear's scent, no mistake." Right after speaking, he sent me a photo. The angle was almost identical to the one that James had posted. But in Gary's photo, the bear was clearly visible, lying lazily beside the security booth as if patiently waiting. Sam's body had been dragged just out of view of the peephole, covered with snow. Gary's voice came again. "Peter, I'll go question James. Stay inside. Do not open the door." His calm reaction made me suspicious. How did he figure out James's involvement so quickly? It almost felt like he had expected this. But I didn't have time to question him. I stayed by the walkie-talkie, waiting. The walkie-talkies stayed silent, but my phone was exploding with notifications. I checked it. It was Gary posting in the group chat. He wrote, "We have already found the one who spread false rumors, the owner of James." A video loaded. James was kneeling on the floor, crying uncontrollably, banging his forehead against the ground, begging for forgiveness. He confessed that the bear really was his. It escaped because he didn't lock the attic properly. He lied because he wanted to bring the bear back before the property management discovered it. James was crying like a child in the video, yet there was a chilling sense of reason behind his words. It was just like those owners who raised large dogs, always believing that their own pets would never hurt anyone, even letting them wander outside without a leash. The owners group exploded instantly. Everyone began cursing James, accusing him of putting the entire community at risk. Some of them turned their anger directly toward property management. How did a bear sneak into the neighborhood? Are security guards and surveillance cameras just decorations? That single sentence was like a match, ignited the owner's fury. Those who were already unhappy with property management took the opportunity to vent. Gary immediately stepped in to respond, promising the property office would conduct a thorough investigation and give everyone an explanation. I had to admit, Gary knew how to talk. After a few exchanges, the tension in the chat eased, and voices supporting the property office gradually increased. Not long after, Gary sent another video. In the new clip, James had already appeared in the stairwell, apparently preparing to go personally retrieve his bear. Several residents of Building 13 typed in the group saying they heard someone walking downstairs. Seeing things slowly heading in a positive direction, the tightness in my chest loosened a little. I thought, he's raised that bear for so long, maybe it'll obediently follow him back. This crisis should be over soon. Soon after, I heard footsteps outside, along with a harsh beam of white light sweeping past my door. I leaned against the door, listening carefully. The sounds outside were drifting farther away. Even that heavy huffing and snorting grew more distant. I checked my phone again for updates in the group. Another video had been uploaded. In the footage, the brown bear was rubbing affectionately against James's neck, its giant body appearing surprisingly gentle. It nudged him with its furry head, clumsy and harmless, completely different from the murderous beast that had been tearing apart a corpse earlier. Watching the video, I couldn't help but sigh. Feelings, truly something beyond reason.